So, let's get ready for the hardest line of code as far as looking at it and understanding what it does. But as you can see, just from right here, you'll see what it'll generally wind up doing when I showcase the results. But, what it's going to wind up being is we're going to wind up having to change my word, because my word has to subtract the letter that we've picked, right? So we're just going to go with my word equals... Now, now it's going to get tricky, and we're going to essentially be making my word into a list twice inside this equation. So it's going to be my word, and then square bracket to start, but then we're going to have ourselves a colon. The colon is going to be, it's there. And then we're going to go with my number, because that's what I decided to name it. You could name it my letter, whatever. And ending with that bracket. Plus, that's right, we're adding a plus in here. We're adding ourselves math equations. We're going to essentially add a list to my word, and then it's going to wind up being, whoops, that's not it. So, and then of course, my position. Oh, not my position, because that's not what I named it. I named it my number. My number plus 1, ending those parentheses in there, and then colon, because I'm ending the colon, and I'm doing the square bracket. Now, what that means is, what I've done is I've taken my word, which is hamburger, and now hamburger is going to equal the first part of that list leading up to the letter we picked. So it's going to pick the stuff up to and before my number. So if my number was the U, it's going to pick everything before U. And then we're going to add that list, but we're going to pick my number plus 1. So once again, if that was a U, we're going to pick the HAMB, and then we're going to go, we're going to go and pick the stuff after the letter we picked. So it'll be RGER. So what I've done is I've essentially made this one list and split it in half to the stuff in front of the letter we picked and the stuff after the letter we picked. And this involves a lot of very precise using the square bracket here, then the colon here, then the square bracket, then a square bracket followed by a parentheses, then the parentheses, then the colon, then the square bracket. Okay? This is where you need specific keystrokes in order to have this code work properly. And chances are I haven't typed it in properly, which is why I also had a copy and pasted version of when it worked. Oh, and look at that! I actually did type it in exactly correct. So yay, I don't need to worry about it. But just in case, I had a backup plan. So, and of course, if I were to simply, print scrambled, we would wind up seeing execute the end result of our scrambling. But, let's not even show that. Let's show the loop here of what's happening. Let's just show the print. Let's show what's happening to my word through every single loop here. Execute it. And as you see, it's taking one random letter. In this case, I believe it took the E, and it removed it. Then it took the M and removed it. Then it took the A and removed it. Then it took the B and removed it. Then it took the R and removed it. Then the G, then the U, then the H. As you see, it kept taking a different letter, and this word kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller. On the contrary, if I were to now print, actually let me make this a little bit easier. Print the old word is now, comma, and then of course I'll now print the new word is now, and then comma, and print scrambled. Now when I hit execute, see, the old word is now that. The new word is G. It took the G out of that and placed it in our new word. Then, of course, it took the E out and put the E in the new word. And it kept doing that over and over and over again until eventually the old world, once I can speak, till eventually the old word was nothing, and the new word was each and every single letter from the old word, but in a random position. So, if you ever need to test it out and see what is exactly happening step by step in a loop, you can always just print something out and see exactly what's happening. But of course, the player isn't going to see the old word is now hamburger and a G, because then they'll figure out, oh, it's supposed to be hamburger. They're not going to see that. They're just going to see the end result. So, with that being said, you in fact have every single bit of code you need to understand how to do this project. How to make a random scrambled word. Remember, I want a word bank of at least 10, so we're going to be picking a random word from this word bank as well, not simply having one. But yeah. And of course, if they get the answer wrong, give them another chance to get the answer in. Keep doing it until they get it correct. So, yeah, that'll be your assignment. Like I said, this line right here is the most deceptively difficult one ever. And it's not even that deceptive, it's the most difficult looking to understand what it's doing. You have to physically read the code and understand it. But other than that, this should be something that you already have most of the knowledge to already do. Because you've already done while loops, you've already done randoms, you've already done player inputs, you've already done lists. Thank you, Motorcycle. You might have ruined my take. But it's already at the end, so I'm going to leave it in. And everyone, have a great day, and, have fun.